Today, we're continuing our discussions of marketing. We're going to talk about what is a product, we're going to define it, and we're going to talk about marketing classifications. First off, a product is a bundle of attributes, both tangible and intangible, that can be exchanged or used to satisfy individual and organizational objectives. This includes ideas, physical goods, services, or any combination thereof. And this is from the American Marketing Association. Tangible, what that means, it's a physical product that you can touch. It's a house, it's a car, it's a phone, it's something like that. The tangible attributes also include the packaging that the product comes in and also the warranties involved. Intangible are those things that are literally not touchable. And that means features, functions, benefits, uses associated with the product and or the service or the idea associated with it. So it's things like status, fashion, quality, exclusivity, brand image. So you'll have things like Rolex or Hermes handbags. Exchange, a product is purchasable by consumers to satisfy their needs and desires. So yes, they give you money and you give them something for that money. A variety of forms. This definition recognizes products come in many forms: physical goods, services, ideas, or any combination. So software is not really something you can touch. It's more of a service. Having someone prepare your taxes is definitely a service. Buying a car, well, that's definitely a tangible thing, although today many cars come with software that are intangible parts. Consumer satisfaction. Okay, they say the ultimate goal of a product is to satisfy the needs and wants of individuals and or organizations. Yes, everything in business should be solving a problem. So I'm not sure if the organization's part means commercial products or the desire of companies to satisfy shareholders. So I'm being a little cynical there. So products are a combination of the external image, the associations and links, the brand image, the colors, the look, the ambiance, if it's a restaurant, packaging, warranty, quality, service, that's pre and post buying it, instructions and information that go along with it. For consumer product classifications, so these are very standard in the business. The first one is unsought products. These are unknown or little known to the buyer. Buyer does not actively seek them. So the buyer will spend almost no effort to find these kind of things. Life insurance, burial plots, new products. So these are things that, in the case of like life insurance and burial plots, people will actively avoid them. They're unpleasant things. And new products, people just don't know about them. The second is convenience products. So it's a relatively inexpensive item. It requires little shopping effort. You purchase it often without really much planning, and you don't spend a lot of effort at doing it. So things like soft drinks, you know what you want in advance, you order it. Things like rice, milk, coffee, yeah, just standard items. You already have a preference built up and you go with what you already know. Shopping product, these are bought after considerable planning and comparisons of price, suitability, style. Considerable effort is spent, and these are things like automobiles, houses, vacations. So these are higher dollar items. And the fourth one is specialty product. Consumers search long and hard and they refuse to accept substitutes. Maximum effort on doing your research is typical. Things like custom jewelry, gourmet dinners, and limited production items. So these are business product classifications. So unlike consumer product classifications. Capital products and equipment, these are large, durable, expensive items that are purchased by business for use in making products or providing services. So these are things like machines and buildings, so big cranes and so forth if you're a construction company. Expense items, these are smaller items, they're less expensive than capital. They're purchased by a business and they typically have a lifespan of 1 year. Pencils, paper, they could be Xerox machines, things like that. Note that this is a little different use of the word expense than we use with profit equals revenue minus expense. So accountants will have one definition of expense. This is more of a slightly different view of it, the word expense. So some industrial product classifications include installation. So this is a physical facility with machinery, infrastructure, systems. So this could be a car manufacturing plant, a chip manufacturing plant, something like this over here. Accessories, these are lower cost, more standardized, but still capital purchases. So these are longer term investments. Copiers, personal computers, CNC machines, 3D. Earlier I said copier can be an expense. This goes back to how much it costs. So if you buy a high-end copier, it can be a capital purchase. Low-end copier can be an expense. Component parts and materials. So these are process materials. These are things that go into the end product. These could be screws, bearing, plastic parts, stuff like that, stuff that your product is made out of. There's raw materials. These are expense items that have undergone little or no processing. So the manufacturer processes and uses it in the product. So this could be lumber. You buy raw lumber, you turn it into furniture. Copper, you buy copper, raw copper, and you turn it into wire. Zinc, aluminum ingots, and so forth. Supplies, these are items that do not become part of the final product. These are pens, paper, machine oil, stuff like that. And services, expense items used to plan and support a firm's operations. So these are like cleaning services, the people who come in and clean the shop. They may do other specialty services, and consulting. Product line and product mix. So a product line, a group of similar products differing in relatively minor characteristics. So for example, the Dell home computer line. There's a lot of different models, but they vary only in more minor features. And then Samsung smartphones. So they have the different levels of smartphones. They all perform the same function. Some of them do it a little bit better than others. Product mix. These are all of the firms that a product offers for sale. So for example, all Hewlett-Packard products, that would be the product mix. The width of the mix is the number of product lines in the mix. So for example, HP has the inkjet, they have LaserJet printer lines. So, and Procter & Gamble has many product lines. Then there's the depth of the mix, and this is the average number of individual products within each line. So for example, HP typically has low, medium, and higher price inkjet models, and similar with the LaserJets, they have many models along those. And then there's home, all-in-one, and office-based models of these different products. And Procter & Gamble may have up to 12 products per product line. Let's talk about managing products and product lines, and we'll start out with existing products. So a product modification is changing a product's characteristics such as features, function, quality, or aesthetics. So you may want to add flower smell to ivory soap, or you may want to change its color or its consistency, something like that. A line extension is to create a new product to another product in the product line designed to meet a different customer demographic need. So for example, Oreos add a double stuff, strawberry flavor, and so on to meet the needs of other customer demographics. Then there's deleting products. This is also called end-of-lifing. And companies and business schools don't often talk about this, but it's a very necessary function and it should be done well, or it can damage your brand image. So it is just simply where you stop manufacturing, or you sell off the manufacturing, or you just plain stop selling a product. You just shut down the line. So it may happen because it's no longer profitable. You may have problems, say new regulations keep you from doing it, and it may no longer fit in the firm's direction. So for example, HP's instrument division, they sold off to Keysight. So there's creating new products. The company goal is to create products that deliver value for the customer and profits for the company. Kind of obvious. Then there's developing new products, and that is usually done by imitation. So you make something that looks like your competitor's product. So for example, if you're Samsung, you make something that looks like Apple's phones. Adaptation, so you change your own product, so you may make it bigger, smaller, faster, cheaper. Or innovation, so you start something new from scratch. Then there's the fact that new product failure rates are about 75% to 80%. And just good marketing can help reduce failure rates. Now again, for those who haven't seen the video, good marketing does not just mean sales. Marketing is more like an engineering function. It's understanding your customer. It's understanding the product, price, place, promotion things. So I would encourage you to go back and watch those videos if you haven't already seen them. How do you improve your chance of success? Well, first of all, you have to know why most products fail. And this is how that happens. The product marketing program are poorly or not planned. So people just jump into a new product. Hey, I've got a great idea. Let's go do this. Customer testing is minimal or zero. And I've seen this happen a lot. Somebody just says, hey, we should go out and do this. I've seen it happen in a family company where somebody just said, let's jump into this product line, and didn't fit with the company. It wasn't something their customers expected. Flopped kind of hard. So an example, firm sells a product in the wrong place. So Levi suits. Levi tried to sell suits at one point. He did an excellent marketing job, but at the last minute, the vice president over the thing decided that she would change the location where they sold them, and the customers didn't look there, and it just flopped hard. Or at the wrong price. So for example, the Apple Lisa, you can look that up. That was one of Apple's computer products, and it was just terribly expensive. Or the wrong features. So for example, Nokia fell behind in features. The firm tries to market a product with inadequate financing and resources. So this is very typical of a lot of startups. They just don't have the money. They try to sell in too many locations. They can't advertise enough. They're just spread too thin, and it breaks apart. Problems during testing, but the firm goes to market anyway. So for example, Theranos or the Samsung Galaxy Note 7 and their exploding batteries. So these are two companies that had some serious issues because they knew there were problems, but they went ahead and sold it anyway. The firm markets a buggy new product. So again, Theranos and maybe Cybertruck, I don't know. This is still in the works, but it's kind of looking like sales are falling at this point. A lot of people are complaining about quality issues. The best thing you can do to improve your chances of success are to have a first-rate product manager. A product manager is a professional who defines the product strategy, creates the roadmap, the features of the product, and they are tasked with creating the success of the product. They guide the product development, and they manage the product after release. So this means, during the design phase, during the engineering phase, during the manufacturing phase, they shepherd that along. They create a complete strategy and marketing program for a specific product or brand. And actually these two things can be switched around. Oftentimes this should be done long before this starts. They ensure a product launches and performs well in the defined markets by conducting market research. They go out and they actually see what customers want. They don't just sit in an ivory tower and come up with ideas. They need to understand customer needs, and they manage related things like engineers. So cost versus features, function, designers, look, packaging, and so forth. Yeah, you have to keep after your engineers, or they will also go blue sky on you. They'll do things, they'll add features and functions customers never wanted. It'll cause delays and price increases you don't want. Designers will oftentimes just kind of go off in their own little world. I've had to rein them in many times. Manufacturing costs, yes. Manufacturing has to do a good job, but also in a reasonable time frame. Sales, you need to have sales reps trained before the product releases. They have to be ready to go when the product is hitting the door. And marketing. So, yeah, this all is based roughly on the American Marketing Association's definition of a product manager. So, points of failure, of product management failure. You have fluffy PMs, people who are kind of off in their own little world. They're not really tied to the customer. They're not operating on objective evaluations of what's happening. They're more subjective. They have low customer focus, or they have internal focus. This is what I would want. This is what I think. This is me, me, me. Products are never about me, me, me. They're always about the customer. They're always about outside the company. So they have no or low authority. Yeah, so engineering, design, just running all over them. They have poor understanding of the internal politics or operations of the company, lack of upper management support, no control over key factors from other departments, so sales, manufacturing, support, and failure to get their hands dirty. This is a 6-step product development platform, if you will. It needs to be tailored to your industry, but it's a good foundation. It's a good starting point. So the first one is always be on the lookout for new product ideas. These can come from customers, employees, competitors, the news. I oftentimes still send old clients from my consulting days ideas that I see in the news. I'll send them a clipping, say, hey, this might be something that would be a good fit for your company. The next thing is to filter out ideas and concepts. So do they fit the firm? So do the 4 Ps, the product, price, place, promotion, the current capabilities of the firm, do you already have the machinery to produce this stuff, and so on. Set goals for success and failure. So what is the return on investment? What's the break-even time? How much profit do you need? What market share would you expect? What time frames do you expect to deliver the product in? The fourth one is develop the concept. So you prototype, you mock up, you alpha test, you focus group, you do internal tests. So right now I'm helping a friend with a prototype on a product he's doing. And so, yeah, we put this thing together from off-the-shelf parts. We see if it works. Then when it's done, he's going to take it to a manufacturer and say, okay, how much is it going to cost me to make this? And then he will do an alpha test. He'll do a focus group on that. He'll run some internal tests to make sure it works and so forth. Then he will test market the new product. So you give it to beta testers, and you've probably seen a lot of this with software. Customer tests, limited releases. So this is where you put the product, at least the newest version of the product, or a new version of the product, I should say, in the customer hands, and you let them use it, and then you take feedback from them. And the sixth thing is introduce product to the marketplace. So this is where you commercialize it and roll it out. Generating and testing new product ideas. Well, one of the things I just mentioned was a focus group, and this is a group of 8 to 12 participants, although I prefer more like 5. Led by a moderator in an in-depth discussion on one particular topic or concept. I have seen these done so wrong. If you just go in there and you lead people along to conclusions that you want to reach, or you know that your management wants to reach, that's really bad. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of money. Don't do it. You need to sit down with people who are going to give you an honest opinion. They're going to say, yes, this is good. This is bad. Here are the good points. Here are the bad points. No, this just is a complete misfire with my division or my company. Yeah, so the must be done right or it's dangerous is a very important note. There's brainstorming. So you just generate ideas from a group of 5 or 6 people who suggest possibilities that come to mind. You have to do it without criticizing or evaluating any of the suggestions until after the session. Otherwise, it just becomes an argument. So everybody just agrees. You don't criticize anybody else. You just throw out ideas that are along the line of whatever your company is doing or the direction you want to take. And you wait until after the session. You make a new session to go over the ideas, eliminate the ones that are obviously too far out or too expensive or whatever. And yeah, so it's the second separate session in order to do that process of filtering. And then product manager, and we've talked about this before, the person who develops and implements a complete strategy and marketing program for a specific product or brand. So this is a little different definition. They first guide the product development, then manage the product after release. So this is a lot more general than what we talked about earlier. Okay, so this is the end of marketing section 7. Let's go on to topic 8, and that is the product life cycle.